Alright, we're live. And what were we reading today? Can you read that, Josiah? The cats. That's one part of that title. What's the rest of it? What's the rest of this title? You can't read it? It is about cats that are the primary protagonists. No, this is called the Aristocats. Aristocats. It's meant to be a pun. Alright, let's get into this. Long ago, excellent start. A kindly old woman named Madame... Oh, these are French names. Okay, get ready for me to butcher this. Madame Bonfimille lived in a beautiful house in Paris. She had a cat named Duchess, who had 3 kittens named Toulouse, Berlot, and Marie. The kittens were very talented. Toulouse could paint, Berlot could play the piano, and Marie, who had white fur like her mother, liked to sing. Why was that important to tell us what color her fur was? Yeah, we can see him right there. Madame loved Duchess and her kittens very much. She even made plans to leave her entire fortune to them. But when her butler, Edgar, found out, he was very upset. Why? He's the butler. He would have been taking care of Madame and her cats for years and had always thought he would inherit her fortune. Edgar decided to make the cats disappear, so Madame would have to leave her money to him instead. Ooh. That evening, Edgar put something in the cat's supper that would make them very sleepy. "Come taste this delicious crème de la Edgar," he called as he set down their food. The cats and their mouse friend... Oh, come on! No, really, look at that name. Roquefort? Ate it all up. Roquefort went to his mouse hole to rest, and the cats fell asleep. Edgar put the cats in a basket and drove them out to the country. Along the way, the 2 noisy dogs started to chase them. Edgar lost control of his motorcycle and drove into a river. The basket holding the cats fell off the motorcycle and rolled under a bridge. Edgar couldn't find it, so he returned to Paris. When he got home, Roquefort had awakened. The mouse began to suspect that Edgar was behind the cat's disappearance. That's one smart mouse. Turn the page. When Duchess and the kittens woke up, they were in a dark countryside. They didn't know how they had gotten there or how to get home. It was raining, so they huddled together to stay warm. Luckily, the next morning, an alley cat named Thomas O'Malley found the kittens and their mother at the bridge. He knew the journey back to Paris would be difficult for the little ones, so he offered to help. O'Malley snuck the family onto a milk truck. As the milk truck began to move, Marie fell off the back. The alley cat rescued her and hopped aboard. The cats drank some of the cream on the truck. When the driver discovered them, he chased them away. Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Tracy, Thomas O'Malley. O'Malley the alley cat. I really do like his introduction song. Anywho, after a very long walk, a bridge crossing, and an accidental tumble into a river, another river. This is a different river. Look at that. Look at that cat. Look at his face. What's with his face? It's not very good animation right there. It's not a very tired looking cat. It looks, yeah, it looks like that's what he's saying. Like, Mom, I don't want to be that guy, but you might want to... Okay, moving on. The cats finally reached Paris late at night. O'Malley had stayed with Duchess and her kittens the entire time. Berlot, Toulouse, and Marie were very tired from the journey. O'Malley decided they needed a rest before they went home. He led them across the rooftops to his house. When they got to O'Malley's place, some of his friends were singing and playing jazz. The leader of the jazz band stepped forward, and O'Malley introduced him as Scat Cat. Awesome name. He was the coolest cat on the Parisian jazz scene. and he could play the trumpet and sing better than anyone. The cats had never heard jazz before, but soon all the kittens were dancing. Then O'Malley asked Duchess to dance. The band played one jazz tune after another, and before long it was very late. The kittens were still humming when their mother put them to bed. They never had so much fun. Because everybody wants to be a cat. I gotta watch this movie now. There's a very racist scene in this, I remember. Then O'Malley and Duchess went out to the roof and looked at the starry sky. They had a wonderful evening together. O'Malley knew he was in love with Duchess, and he asked her to stay. "Oh, Thomas, that would be wonderful," she said. Yes, that's how she talked. What? What? I think that was pretty good. Duchess loved O'Malley very much, and knew her kittens did too. But she also knew she could never leave Madame. Oh yeah, she did love Madame. "Oh, you're just her house pets," O'Malley protested. "Oh no," Duchess said. "We mean far more to her than that." "I'm gonna miss you," O'Malley said, "and those kids." The next day, O'Malley reluctantly took his new friends home. At the front door, they said their goodbyes and Duchess and the kittens went inside. Edgar was mad that the cats had returned, so he put them in a sack and hid them inside a huge trunk to be sent away to Timbuktu. What? Timbuktu? Why wasn't that the first thing he did? Anyway, but Roquefort had been keeping an eye on Edgar. Remember him? The mouse?
Oh.
Yeah.
The running mouse.
What?
The running mouse.
Yes. When he saw what had happened, he ran on the street to catch up with O'Malley. Luckily, the cat hadn't gotten too far. "Duchess! Kittens! In trouble!" cried the little mouse. O'Malley stopped and listened, then came up with a plan to help the cats. I love this scene too. I gotta watch this movie. Watch this movie now. Anywho, O'Malley sent Roquefort to get Scat Cat and his friends to bring them to Madame's. Then he ran into the house to help Duchess. He chased Edgar into the barn and cornered him. O'Malley jumped on the butler's back, but Edgar shook the cat off. When O'Malley tried to get into the trunk to free the cats, Edgar fought him with a pitchfork. Oh my gosh. Suddenly, Scat Cat and the gang were at the barn door. They managed to overpower the butler. Roquefort opened the trunk, and O'Malley let the cats out. Then they made Edgar get into a trunk. A few minutes later, some men came to pick it up. Finally, Edgar was gone, headed for Timbuktu, which is actually one of the first Disney villains to not actually die. How refreshing. Well, I mean, so he can technically be back. There never was Aristocats 2. Sure, that would be quite entertaining. Duchess and the kittens had a joyful reunion with Madame. She was delighted her precious pets were safely home and very grateful to Thomas O'Malley and his friends. Why was she grateful to Thomas O'Malley? She didn't know what happened. Madame could see that O'Malley and Duchess were in love. Oh. So she invited the alley cat to live with them. Duchess and the kittens were very happy because now their family was complete. Quick question. So, who was the kitten's original daddy? Because now O'Malley's the stepdaddy. Alley cat. Now is O'Malley the stepdaddy cat. So who is the kitten's original daddy is my question. That just got some explaining to do. And her face, she's like, I'm gonna have to get more kittens now. Yeah, she certainly has way too much money. Because, I mean, I don't know exactly how long ago this was, but looking at the size of that picture-taking machine apparatus doohickey thingy, she had to go through a lot of trouble to take a picture of the cats. The cats. Alright? So that's a lot of effort.
All saying cheese.
They are all saying cheese. And they all look very cheesy. Those teeth are way too big for those kittens, by the way. Hey, look at how big his... Oh, man. This is a very short story now I think about it. Like, it's not even 10 minutes into the video, dude. We gotta make up some space. Is Ari sleeping already?
No, she got no.
How'd she already go night-night?
We lost one.
Did you take a nap today? No? Nope. That explains it. Yeah, she's snoring. She is out. Well, I guess that's a sign that it's time for us to pack it in as well. You're not ready to go to sleep? Too bad. Lay down. And night-night to all. Hope you enjoyed this. Another rendition of Daddy Reads Disney. Perhaps next time we'll go on to the next story in line. I don't know if Josiah wants to read it, but I think Aria might. This little story, that little classic tale, known as The Little Mermaid. Have a good night.